Hi, everybody. Yes, I know it's been over 2 years since I shared a story on our YouTube channel, and a lot of water has flown under the bridge since then, and a lot has changed. But one thing definitely that has changed is the city now I live in, the city of Kolkata. Now, after relocating from Mumbai to Kolkata, I had to look for a new member in my team to replace a person who couldn't relocate from Mumbai. I had put out an ad in LinkedIn for the position and I received over 170 responses in just 2 days. Now, even though the ad had mentioned that the candidate needed a minimum experience of 2 years in the domain, and I also mentioned the salary band, I was really surprised to receive close to 100 applications from people who were already drawing a much higher salary or didn't have the relevant experience. Clearly, they didn't read it, they just applied. Now, since I've always felt that it is important to respond to every application, that's what I did. And as you can imagine, it took me 2 days to write all those rejection letters. Now, as I mulled over my plight, I remembered a story shared by Simon Sinek about 11 years ago. The story is about finding the perfect person for the team. Most people like me or you would take out an ad in the relevant platform, say LinkedIn, and share whatever we are looking for, an account executive or a personal assistant, and then get inundated with responses. Now, while I did manage to find the right person for my team this time, it's always a hit or a miss. It doesn't guarantee that the person we hire will be a great fit. Now, a great fit really happens when the person who joins your team believes in what you believe. If someone believes what you believe in, they're going to work for you with blood, sweat, and tears. And if they don't believe in what you believe, they just work for your money. And I'm sure you know what the difference is in all the years that you have worked. The example Simon uses is that of Ernest Shackleton. Shackleton was an English explorer. In August 1914, the British Imperial Transantarctic Expedition left England under Shackleton's leadership. The plan was to cross the Antarctic from sea to sea via the South Pole. However, the expedition ship, coincidentally called Endurance, was trapped in ice and drifted for 10 months before being crushed in pack ice. The members of the expedition then drifted on ice floes for another 5 months and finally escaped in boats to a nearby island and survived on seal meat and penguins. Shackleton and 5 others then sailed 1,300 kilometers in a whaleboat to seek help. It was a 16-day journey across a stretch of dangerous ocean. 4 months later, after leading 4 separate relief expeditions, Shackleton succeeded in rescuing his crew from the island. Throughout the ordeal, not one of Shackleton's crew of Endurance died. This was not because Shackleton was lucky. It's just that Shackleton had hired the perfect team. Now, how did he do? Now, just like most of us, he did take out an ad in a very popular newspaper of those times, the London Times. Now, it didn't say what he needed. It didn't say men needed for expedition, must have 5 years of experience, must know how to hoist the mainsail. That isn't how he did it. But isn't that how we write want ads? Account executive needed. Minimum 5 years experience, must have working knowledge of Microsoft Office, and we get inundated with responses. However, what Shackleton's ad said was something very different. He was really honest about what the conditions were like to work for a ship, on this expedition. And in his ad in the London Times, he wrote, "Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success." The only people who applied for those jobs were people who loved insurmountable odds. The only people who applied for these jobs were people who read this ad and said, wow, what an opportunity. And that's why Shackleton and his crew survived in the extra 22 months. He had hired people who were great fits. Now, when we take out ads or when we are interviewing people, we sometimes butter up what the job is going to be like. We are not often brutally honest. Now, if your office is chaotic, tell people that it's chaotic. If your office environment is one where everyone works late, then say that in your ad. Say that in your interview. Because if you don't, you're going to be hiring people who fall in love with the job that you advertised or the job that you're selling, but not the job that they finally get. So be brutally honest about what it's like to work for you and what you believe, and you'll be amazed with the kind of people you can recruit for your team. And as I said, while I did get lucky this time, even though I didn't use the Shackleton method, when I think about it, I have many times in the past been very unhappy with the people I have recruited. At that point in time, I didn't really understand why they were so different. Why did they have so different values and expectations? Now I know. So don't forget, find somebody who believes in what you believe, not just who does what you need them to do. So question is, now that you've heard the story, what would be your version of the Shackleton ad for your team? Now go ahead and share that in the comments. I'd love to know about it. I hope you enjoyed listening to this story. And if you did, do share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel so that you can get an alert every time a new story is put in. Now that we have restarted, we will, like earlier, share one story every week. As many of you know, the Storyworks YouTube channel has two playlists. The Story Bank playlist, which already has over 50 stories containing stories just like this, real incidences that you can share to drive home business points. The other playlist is called Leaders Speak. In that channel, we have videos where leaders have shared stories that have created opinions they have. If you are sharing the same opinion or a similar opinion with your team or driving home a similar message, you could use that story. I hope you'll check them out. See you next week. Bye for now.